Now you know why you should always remain subscribed. Because I'm ready to go and bring you up to speed as to what happened today regarding our friend Diddy. Day 4. He's winning this case. I don't care what anybody's telling you. They are winning. He is winning this case. But first, let me make sure I get a 5 by 5. 5 by 5 for those of you in the business. Understand that that's the sign that I'm coming in loud and clear. Because there's nothing worse than me talking like a goddamn fool. And then it turns out I'm talking to nobody because you can't hear me. There we go. 7:27 in Beijing. How are ya? Ni hao ma. Am I coming in loud and clear, Brian? Am I coming in loud and clear? Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Bobby D'Angelo. Kenny Smith is with us. Laura Nolan, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Nolan. Bobby Feynman. Everybody, South Carolina. Carolyn Shipley. Shifty Shipley. She's a wild woman. Beijing Yankee. It was terrific. Fantastic. Seattle, the whole gang is here. Now, my friends, I want you to start off with the idea that, and before we begin, let me see if I can bring you up to speed on something which is critical here. And that is simply this. I got my 2020 mug. The prosecution has to prove, and this is important, the prosecution has to prove not that he's a dirtbag, not that he is involved in salacious, scabrous, concupiscent sexual activities that you find disgusting. Not whether he uses opiates, not whether he's a dick, or whether such reminds people of a Tootsie Roll, which of course everybody is talking about. His phallus resembling a Tootsie Roll. Now I know that's a big deal. You understand this? That's a big deal. Now I don't want to go into Tootsie Roll, because you know in this country, everybody, there has been this fixation for the longest time with organ size since time immemorial. And while we're at it, breast size, for some reason, appendage girth and gargantuanism is apparently a big deal, but I digress. The people who represent the media have no clue as to what the hell they're talking about as to a case. There's a fellow named Touré. Touré for Hollywood. Touré is some, I don't know who it is, some guy who keeps talking about this particular case. And today was cross-examination day for Cassie Ventura. Oh my God. Now before I begin, let me tell you one thing about a very, 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 very important. So I want to mention this. This has been our sponsor. I'm not going to load you up with sponsor talk and all that. But one of the deals that we've made, and he's been with us, is the great Mike Lindell. And it's mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Go find out, just go to mypillow.com, after the show, of course, mypillow.com/Lionel. Find out everything that he has to offer. Enter promo code Lionel and buy everything he has. It benefits me, benefits Mike, it benefits everybody. Do what I say, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. They've been after that guy since day one. And it's unfair. You understand this? Unfair. So let me do this. I made some notes, and I'm going to be referring to these. Oh, Carolyn Shipley is a wild woman. Carolyn, oh no. Shipley? Oh, Shipley is crazy. Crazy. Okay, now, here we go. Let me move this over here a little bit. This might be better if we kind of do. Okay, let me do that. Let me try to get over here. Move my thing around. Blah, blah, blah. Raul Rodriguez, is Diddy free and clear? Not yet, my friend. A little early. But I think these are going great because, by the way, Mark Garagos' daughter is apparently one of the lawyers for this. He has women representing him, repping him. I don't know how important that is. But in today, though, there was a pivotal moment as Cassie Ventura, his former girlfriend, and the prosecution's key witness, big. She underwent intense cross-examination by the defense. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And Diddy's strategy? Well, let me tell you what it is. Diddy's legal team, led by attorney Ana Estevao, aimed to challenge Cassie Ventura's credibility and Jesse Ventura's credibility and their past relationship as consensual. Oh, yeah. He says, I don't know what you're bitching and moaning about. You were in on it. You were a part of this. You loved it. And now all of a sudden you made what, 20 million from this? I don't know what else you did. He kicked you around, which is horrible. But now you're claiming what? That this wasn't consensual? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're intimating? They introduced explicit text messages, ladies and gentlemen, from Mr. Ventura, including one stating, I'm always ready. I'm Mr. Ms. I'm always ready to freak off. Huh? Suggesting, I don't have to tell you this, suggesting that she's a willing participant. Kelly McKinnon, Kelly, thank you, dear heart. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, wild woman? Kelly? Between Kelly and Shipley? Forget it. Forget it. No. The police have pictures of them. They know about them. Whenever they go into a new time, they have to register. They're that crazy. Thank you. So they're going to be alleged, you can have alleged, that she has been part and parcel, she has been a part of this deal since day one. Wait a minute. Clonas, he says, I was there today. Total disaster. Dream killer. I was there today. Oh, Stevie, I haven't seen you in a while. Pray tell. We should, you know what? We should talk. I would love somehow to. Maybe you can email me, Lionel@LionelMedia.com. Maybe I could interview you on a separate, get your take. Because I'm telling you right now, they haven't gotten to this racketeering. Remember, three cases. Number one, violation of the Mann Act. White slavery. Moving women across, state lines. They used R. Kelly. They used Chuck Berry, Jack Johnson. The idea that you're not. I mean, you are like a professional pimp. You're trafficking, literally bringing them over and flying them around. That's number one. There's no evidence of that. Number two, we'll get to this a little bit later. Let me just You know what? Let me do this now. I want you to hear this now, and you'll get a kick out of this. Okay? You'll get a kick out of this. First, I made some notes here. Can a racketeering enterprise be one person? Who is the racketeering enterprise? Who are these people? Anybody? Anybody listening? Who are what is the racketeering? Who are these people? Who? Who are they? Who are they? Can a racketeering enterprise be one person? No. Under RICO, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, the RICO Act, a racketeering enterprise must be more than one person. The law requires a distinct enterprise separate from the individual defendant. And that enterprise must have structure, continuity, and more than one actor. That's the law. And that's why the jury instructions are so critical. That's why they're critical. You understand what I'm saying? What are some of the requirements of a racketeering enterprise? Remember, jury instructions. If you get to pick, if you get the right jury instructions, that writes the case for you. Under 18 U.S.C. 1961, paren 4, an enterprise includes any individual, partnership, corporation, association, or group of individuals associated in fact, although not a legal entity. Okay? Associated in fact means this is a loose-knit group maybe working together, for example, under a common illegal thing. For example, how about Diddy plus security plus his assistants plus the suppliers and the enablers, okay? The defendant must be distinct from the enterprise. In other words, a person cannot be both the enterprise and the perpetrator. There must be at least a nominal separation between the individual and the criminal structure allegedly directed. Okay? You got that? You got that? Let's talk about racketeering. What is racketeering? Racketeering, particularly in the context of conspiracy to commit racketeering, refers to engaging in or agreeing to engage in a pattern of illegal activities as part of an organized enterprise that I have just read to you before. In legal terms, this is prosecuted under RICO. Racketeering means participating in a pattern of criminal behavior, such as fraud, bribery, extortion, sex trafficking, drug distribution, money laundering, or obstruction of justice to benefit or protect a criminal, what's the word, class? Enterprise. And conspiracy to commit racketeering, which is what this is you've got to prove, one, there was an enterprise, not necessarily a formal one. Number two, multiple criminal acts were committed. Number three, the acts were related and a part of a broader criminal scheme. And number four, did he knowingly agree to participate in, direct, or whatever. Now today, it was one case after another of Cassie saying repeatedly how she loved the freaks. They've got discussions between Cassie and Combs about a swinger's lifestyle that she talks about, to argue that their interactions were part of a mutual arrangement. Well, what are the allegations of abuse? Well, this is very interesting. During her testimony, she detailed a decade-long relationship marked by alleged abuse. So what? Including coercion, into drug-fueled sexual encounters with male escorts, physical assaults, and psychological manipulation. She claimed that he used videos to control her. But you know, the problem is that they've got evidence of her saying all this stuff. And they fought like mad to get it in. They fought like mad because she's saying, oh, I love this lifestyle. We're going to do freak. I want to do freak with you. But here's what I would say. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, irrespective of what you've heard today, irrespective of the text messages, irrespective of whether she liked it, didn't like it, whatever it was, it's not anything. And Touré, notwithstanding, I mean, if you want to have a trial about whether he's a dick, yeah, he's a horrible, horrible person. But let me explain something to you, and listen to me carefully. First, wait a minute, this is Linda Hazlitt who says, so glad to be back. Your commentary is exhilarating. Thank you, Linda. And your participation is so appreciated. Thank you. As is your incredible generosity. Generosity. The easiest form of, remember, what's the issue regarding any kind of sexual criminal activity? Consent. Consent. That's it. It's not the act. It's consent. The consent. Now, some statutes may involve certain forms of behaviors, certain types. Remember, there are some statutes that show and have said in the past that, believe it or not, they have said in the past and shown that activities involving role-playing, BDSM, I think you know what that means. That's not sexual activity because there's no actual intromission. There's no coitus. There's none of that. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's not there. There has to be sometimes contact with. It doesn't have to be necessarily the usual. But the issue is consent. A child cannot consent. A person under anesthesia cannot consent. A person who is perhaps retarded or mentally infirm cannot consent. It's simple. Now, the best kind of case for a prosecutor is a complete stranger. Complete strangers are the best way to go. I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. A complete stranger is the case that is the most simple because you don't know anybody. Somebody snatched off the street. Somebody pulled into a truck or part of something. But when you've got this, and at what point can you leave? As you know, there is a kidnapping statute. It's also called false imprisonment. And one of the issues of false imprisonment and kidnapping is that you were held against your will. I can hold you against your will. You couldn't escape. I cannot kidnap you if you can leave. If I say, all right, stand right there, don't you move, and I don't threaten you, and you say, okay, and you claim what? That I didn't? No, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. So in this particular case, the issue is that, wait a minute, what are you suggesting? What are you trying to say? See, I would love to ask it. Ms. Ventura, what are you suggesting? Are you saying you didn't consent to this? Now forget this video that we've seen a million times, which has nothing to do with the charge. Here, nothing. Nothing. Look at the Secret Service probing or they're looking at Comey. I think that's what you were talking about. We'll look at that. I don't want to change too many subjects because I do this every now and then. I'll talk about something. I'll talk about this. Trump in the Middle East. Oh my God. But I don't want to do that. Let's go back to this. Because that's what you want to talk about. This does not qualify for anything, Ms. Ventura. I don't know what you think this is. What is this? How many times do you think you had? How many times were you together? Ms. Ventura? How many times? How many times? Were you, how long? 5 years, 10 years? How many times do you think you had various acts? How many times did you have acts with other men? How many times did you have acts with other men in front of him? Ms. Ventura, is it safe to say, and I am not in any way suggesting this to you in terms of impugning your integrity or your morality, but would it not be safe to say that you are a professional sex player, a sex performer, a sex, whatever you want to call it, actor? Isn't that what you do? I mean, you, Diddy, escorts, were you ever threatened? No. So you just did this and you kept going back and you kept saying, I love this. And how much do you think he paid you for this? You're a sex worker. You're a sex worker. He paid you for this? How long? Your career? I'm not saying he's a bad guy. Ike and Tina Turner? Do you think Ike Turner? I don't want to bring this up. You think Ike Turner could have been brought up for trafficking? Ike Turner? He did terrible things. He hit the, what's it called? LMA or whatever her name was. Remember that? Would they charge him with that? He's a brute. Charge him with what he did. But trafficking? Conspiracy to traffic? What? But for some reason, Diddy, it's the same thing. I don't understand. If you keep going back for this, when do you say enough? When did you say enough? This guy's got, what, 80 charges? I mean, this guy's a bank. Now, I don't know how you get that into evidence. That's going to be kind of tough because it's sort of irrelevant. But they look at this guy and they say, oh, look at Busby. Ching, ching, ching. They tried everything. Hell, they tried to bring in Jay-Z. This is a money, this is an industry. It's a cottage industry. Get these people. Now remember, when I say this, people think somehow I like him or that I'm standing up for him or what? Absolutely not. But it's this story, especially from these chidrulos who sit around and they say, oh, I think it's a strong case. Schmuck, did you read the jury instructions? I don't understand. I give you this example, and I said this all the time. And I mentioned it the other day to our dear friends, Clayton and Natalie Morris from Redacted. I think I said it then. Let's say Shipley. Let's say you. Okay, you got this? Let's assume that you were charged, I keep saying this, with you're charged with speeding. And you say, yeah, I wasn't speeding, and you go to court. And you got the speeding ticket, and I put on evidence about how you were drunk. And you were drunk driving, and you're saying, wait a minute, I'm not charged with drunk driving. Yeah, well, you were drunk. You think that's safe? No, I don't think that's safe, but you didn't charge me with it. So what if I didn't charge you with it? Quit changing the subject. You were drunk driving. Look at the picture of your car with all these bottles. And you were fired because you were drunk. You didn't even have a license for a long time because you were drunk, weren't you? And you went to prison, didn't you? For bank robbery. You say, what does this have to do with it? You're a terrible person. Okay, maybe I'm a terrible person, but you charged me with speeding. Quit bringing that up, Mr. Nitpicky. Don't play lawyer with us. What do you think this is, a court? Yes. What does this have to do? I'm not saying what I did was acceptable, but it's irrelevant. That's what we're talking about here. Oh, but Touré says, oh, there's this. Have you seen that guy that, I don't know who these people are. Have you seen that fellow who Neil deGrasse Tyson has? What's his name? Not Chuck D, but they sit around, at least this case is terrible. And I love to do the cross-examination. Cassie, you weren't trafficked, were you? No. You weren't put into some car, blindfolded, sent across state lines to perform for other men or to, no. Part of a white slave, no. And how these kids are there. Let me ask you, think it's a good idea to have kids in the courtroom? I don't. Think it's a good idea to have Diddy read the Bible? I don't. You think it's good to have his mother there, who looks like some kind of a strumpet, some harlot, she's got her gold wig on, her blonde wig. You think that's? I don't think that's helpful at all. Do you think so? No. Stick to the facts of the case. Just sit there. Just have them look and say, does it look like a... People don't give a shit about this. After a while, you're just sitting there. And you're waiting. And then you start to get upset. And then you start asking, See, courtroom appearance is important to an extent. There's an issue sometimes whether people want to wear, for example, if a priest is on trial for something with a child, should he be able to wear his collar? Oh, I would hope so. If I'm a prosecutor, yeah. What about if Oliver North, remember when he testified, he wore his Marine uniform? Say, but you're not, I don't know what the rules of wearing a uniform are. Sometimes these things, you can look at the kids and say, they look spoiled, they look this, why are they there, I hate it. It gives you the chance for have as little possibility for interpretations to go south. Why do you have this? Why? What's the point of having them there? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. And you can go through all this stuff. He's a terrible person. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Diddy's a terrible person. Let's see, where is he charged with that? He's not charged with that. But he's a terrible person. I think that's what we're trying to say. And he's terrible with women, and he said it's terrible. He's not charged with that. If they charge him with being a terrible person, I don't know what's terrible, but you know what I'm saying. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I know this is difficult sometimes because, you see, that's exactly why the government did this. The government figures, you don't have any evidence of this. You don't have anything to show you. So we're going to just come up with, we're going to just make, we want to make you hate this guy. We want to make, you see where Justin Bieber, he's not charged with anything, but he said, hey, don't look at me. And maybe he's not. And all those people who were involved, with Diddy, who were the escorts, what about them? Are they being granted immunity? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. So, my friends, today was a terrible day, a horrible day, because it gives me, I'm sitting in the back saying, this is terrific. Okay, well, there's day 4. Have we heard anything about trafficking? Nope. Have we heard anything about conspiracy to commit racketeering? Nope. Have we heard any Mann Act, white slavery? Nope. I don't know when we're going to hear that. This is the beginning of their case. I don't think, I mean, you would normally start off with that. Hit them hard with it. Hit them hard. State your name for the record. Juanita Johnson. Miss Johnson, I was kidnapped by Diddy and his men and thrown into the back of a van and driven to an undisclosed location where I was anesthetized, given a series of narcotics, and forced to commit a variety of heinous acts. And they threatened him, and I was coerced. That's it. They would plead guilty. They wouldn't even be in trial. The very fact that they're in trial means he didn't plead guilty to this. Come on. In fact, they wanted to make a deal with him before. They're not going to make a deal with him. Either way, that's the stuff you want to hear. That's the stuff you want to hear. You want to hear about, state your name, Howard Mandel. What are you? I am the vice president of the Diddy racketeering enterprise. We are a loosely knit formulation which I have to be, I was in charge of corralling the women, keeping them fed, keeping them under control. I would buy their silence. I would, maybe, okay, now we're talking. But so far I'm just hearing about Diddy and that male escort. I don't even think he was there. Think about all the people. Remember this. Think about what I'm saying. Think what I'm saying. Do you think that Ike Turner would have been charged with trafficking or conspiracy? No! So, my friends, we will just sit back and just wait. I always and have always thanked you for your incredible kindness for doing this. For those who are super chatters tonight, thank you so much. Let me see about this. You think the prosecutor throwing the case? She's disgraced head of the FBI, James Comey's daughter. I don't think anybody's throwing the case. I think what we're doing here is this is incompetence. This is incompetence. This is not throwing the case. I don't think people throw it. People do not like to have records when your prosecutors of throwing the case. It just doesn't work that way. I don't know why it was brought. I have no idea. But it'd be great to see would it be great if Diddy called Jay-Z as a witness and go, Jay-Z, did you go to those parties with me? I don't know. You didn't see any trafficking, did you? No, I didn't see any. That would be great. I would love to see that. Because it was, it's Jay-Z. Then, of course, Jay-Z would have to say, what's trafficking? This is nothing to be proud of. I'm sorry, orgies? It's really an orgy. It's Hugh Hefner stuff. That's what it is. In any event, dear friends, let's end with something on a nice note. Where's everybody from? We have a good... please like this video. I need 500 likes. Ladies and gentlemen, I need the likes. You got to like this. My whole life here is dependent upon the liking. You got to like this. Like. I get the thing and I got like this. I've got 201 likes. I need 500. Wesley Chapel, Florida. Wesley Chapel. Tommy Ruiz. My good friend Dale Kimball was from there. Phillip Park, California, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Look at this. Sunnyvale. There's Claudy, not Cloudy. Claudy, good to see you. Remember, be strong. Wild Bill is there. Spring Hill. Spring Hill. Yes, yes. Been there before. Florida. All right, dear friends. You're so wonderful. Where's Shipley from? Hang on, where's Shipley? She is, you got to watch her. She is wild. Where's Shipley from? She won't even tell you. She won't even tell you because, you know why? Because the law is probably looking for her. You know why? Because she's a wild woman. Wild woman. All right, my friends. We loves you. Have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much. We will see you perhaps tomorrow. I don't know when. But make sure make sure you keep posting, because I may just turn this thing on when I want and say, you know, I'm going to talk about it. Another thing too, I want to see Pete Rose. Why Pete Rose never made the Hall of Fame? I know you may not care about that. It's just, I think it's a travesty, an absolute travesty. It's all that man ever did. And gambling did not affect his base running, his home runs, and his incredible power. So anyway, that perhaps for a different day. All right, dear friends, have a great day. See you next time. Don't forget, the monkey's dead. Show's over soon.